It started changing this summer. We became a golf school. Now we're hosting on Sunday with our soccer. It's a soccer school. Football's got maybe the biggest game we've had in quite a few years, so it's a football school. Still ain't a baseball school, so don't worry about it. But it is basketball time, and I'm looking forward to it, guys. It's been a long year that I've had to think about how things went last year, and how excited I am to see how they're going to go this year. And practice was really good today. We've had some good practices. We've had a couple of bad practices, which is about normal. We're sick of playing against each other. You figure this summer we were with each other the whole time. Last summer we didn't really hardly see each other. So this probably seems like even a longer time for them because they didn't have anything last summer. But what we look at with Ferris, we got a player on our team from there, and Mike. But maybe what we look for most is a very well-coached team that has done very well in Division II, and being a Division II guy myself, I have an appreciation for it. I know they're going to play hard. I know Gregory Kelser's nephew's on the team. It'll be a special day for him. But I remember being a Division II guy, getting a chance to play at Marquette or Michigan State. Those were incredible days. So hopefully, as I told my guys, we're playing about getting better each day. We're playing for what we need to do to become a very good team, and that's kind of the approach. So whatever questions you got, I'll take.
Tom, I know you've had the last few years, you've had one of those scrimmages with Gonzaga or something, but what's the value for you guys in having this exhibition, not only just to play a game, but after a year with no fans, now you get to have people back in the building. Was that a factor in kind of doing it this way?
It was. There was three factors. Number one, planning ahead of time long enough when we didn't know what the COVID restrictions would be in different states. So Mark Few and I decided to hold it off a year. Number two, it's nice to have a game. To be honest with you, financially it helps us a little bit. And this is a time when we got to do everything we can do for everybody. But I think the third one is the best one. We just had 1,200 people at a camp out. It rained. I was there. I didn't see one of you there. A little disappointed. Thought some of you would get your tent and come in and sleep out. 4 o'clock, it was raining, man. It was awesome. It was like back in the UP. So all those kids are so excited. We've had record turnout in season tickets. But I think our regular fans, too, I think we're seeing it in football. People want to be able to do something. And what a way to start out the week. We got this on Wednesday and leading into a little football game on Saturday. So it's a great time. And then with the soccer, women's soccer hosting on, I think first time since 2002. Just some cool things going on here right now.
With how good the Division II quality is in the state, how much does that help you guys to do these games?
Well, if you talk to Drew Neitzel, you can ask him what it was like to change out in the hallway when we got beat by Grand Valley the year that we got the new locker room. And although if I did that now, there'd probably be a disgusting lawsuit against it. But it was pretty cool. They spent the week changing out in the locker room. Changing out in the hallway. So I know what it's like to get beat. I've been there, done that with a pretty good team. And I do think that the respect I have for the Division II schools in this state, with Grand Valley and Ferris being two that have won championships and done some things, and it's a game, They'll run some cool stuff. They'll run some motion that'll, if we're loafing, we'll be in trouble. So it's going to be an interesting event for us. And as you said, first time with people, who knows? I mean, some of our freshmen never played in front of people. Our regular freshmen definitely haven't played it. Some of our sophomores, I should say. But even for our older kids, it's going to be, it's going to just be fun to have people back in the building. And I can't wait. I really can't.
Is that what you're most anxious for, is to walk into the building? Fannies in the seats, maybe the band's there and whatnot?
Yeah, those cutouts sucked. I mean, they weren't very good. I have no interest in those cutouts, even though that I thought our school did as cool of things as you could do with it, but it's just not the same at all. So I am looking forward to having the people. The people are. I said all along, I stayed here. I love it here because of the fans and the people. It's the way it is, and that I hope will never change.
I know they're a little far removed from their championship and that 38-1 season that they had, but to be able, what kind of value does that add, even though it was only 3 years ago?
Yeah, well, number one, they're well coached. I mean, you don't win a championship unless we're the only place you don't win a championship with a well-coached team, but most places you gotta be pretty well coached if you win a championship, and so they've got that DNA in there. We know some of the players they've got because we've looked at some of them. We also know they got a pretty talented junior college kid, and so they've got a good culture up there. And a good culture means they're going to have a chance. With Mike on our team, Mike Peterson, who didn't transfer really. He came here to go to school and then asked about walking on, and we said, yeah, because I think he played on that team, or he was a freshman on that team. But I don't know. I'm challenging him right now. It's his birthday today. Blood thicker than water. Is he going to give us some of the scouting report, or is he going to hide it? So, anytime I play some of those schools, I have an appreciation, and Grand Valley set the tempo for me.
Do you plan on, in terms of lineup, are you going to do some experimenting these 2 games? Are you going to play it?
The first game we're going to play it full go. I don't think I'm going to sub 5. We have a meeting about it now. I've done that many a times, but we feel like, let's face it. Last year there was a lot of reasons. I'm not blaming anybody, and I'll take most of the blame. But one of the things that I blame is I didn't have a very solid lineup, and I didn't have a very good substitution pattern. Guy play this way now and then not, and I'll be honest, some of it was their fault. I'm not going to play guys that aren't playing to the level I think that they need to play, but some of it was my fault, and I'm gonna learn from it. And I'd like to get into a situation where I have a 8-9 group, and then see what happens from there. So yeah, I hope that we're going to play more by subbing. It won't be. This will be a serious moment for us because of last year and where I think we were and what problems I think we had, and some of them were in my substituting.
Is it practice kind of getting stale because there's been no game?
Yeah. I'm sick of them. They're sick of me. It's that time of year, but we've just gone. You think about it. We've gone since last May some, and then we took a little time off, and then June and July took a little time off, and then August, and then September we've been going. So I mean, this is a long stretch, especially when they had time off. It's like people going back to work. They've been home. Working from home, doing nothing. Of course, most of you do that every year, so it doesn't matter.
What's the latest with your team? What have you guys gotten accomplished the last couple, 3 days? What's starting to look a little better?
Well, I think we're a very good shooting team and a more athletic team than we've been. I think at the point where we're getting guys shots that when they need the ball, not as a last resort, which I think we did some last year. I think our ball movement has been a lot better. I think defensively we're still a work in progress, which normally I don't say that about one of my teams. I think rebounding the ball, we're still a work in progress. But we've gotten after that in the last 2 weeks, and we're going to get after that. And people are going to get subbed if they aren't doing their job in those areas, because I think right now we're going to be good enough offensively. It's defensively, are we going to, get better?
Tom, quick recruiting question for you, if I could. When you're looking at guys, evaluating players, deciding who you want to go after, are there 2 or 3 kind of characteristics, whether physical or mental, that are kind of top of your list and what you want?
It's a priority. So if I had to have number 2 on my list, it's really a priority. And that's hard to figure out. It's hard to figure out, and everybody will give you the generic, well, what do you want to do? I want to win. It's like, what do you want to do? I want to graduate from college. Well, why do you think you want to? There's a lot of fallacies. There's a lot of things that don't make a lot of sense to me. But one of them is, you got to have some talent. Winning's got to be important. And I'm starting to look at it a little more. Is he a good teammate? Our kind of guy, right? OKG, it's our kind of guy, and so we'll take some people that other people won't, and vice versa. But then when you hit a home run, when you get a Miles Bridges who's got all those things and cares, when you get a Jaren Jackson, Gary Harris is, even though those guys all left early, wouldn't trade one of them because it was important to them. Winning was important. Coming back and trying to win a championship was important. I just don't think there's many guys like that left, and so we're always hunting for one of those.
Max Christie seems like one of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes in recruiting you get a kid who's got all the credentials, and you get him and you say, oh God, he wasn't as good as I thought he was. And once in a while you get a guy and you say, God, he's better than I thought he was. We have two. I mean, we're really excited about Jaden too, but Max, he's got length, he's got size, he's got brains, he's got his family. Winning is important. He's kind of got the whole package. We said he wasn't good enough defensively. He has worked his tail off. We said he wasn't strong enough. He has worked his tail off. You just pray that he has success because he's done everything that we've asked him to do, and I love that about him. So Max Christie is, I think, going to be a special player.
What would you like to see from Walker his first time up?
That is true. I mean, I got 2 point guards right now that I'd like to see a lot from, but with Walker, I'd like to see if he can stick to what he was. He was the best defensive player in that league. Can that spill over on us? Point of attack, can he defend like I think he can, get his hands on balls, do the stuff he can do? And then can he run our team? Can he run our break? AJ has actually pushed the ball a little better than Walker. Walker's done some things better than AJ. They've been very good friends, East Coast, whatever, and I'm really looking forward to playing them. And I don't think I'll play them together tomorrow, but I might. But I am going to play them and give them both a chance to do some things and see. I think AJ is, like I said, pushing the ball a little better, stronger, rebounds better. I think Tyson shoots it a little better. Kind of the truer of the point guards. On ball screens, he's dynamite. I mean, he's got some of Cassius's ability with real athleticism. So we'll see what that brings.
What have you gotten out of Michael as far as a scouting report? Maybe he hasn't shared too much. Maybe he's a little torn.
Yeah, I think he's a little torn, but he did a pretty good job today telling us how they play their zone and what they do. And he deserves to tell us that. Now, if it was a real game and it was going to go against their standards or ours, and I could see him really doing that. But I told him, man, you better realize where you are. I pulled for Northern Michigan too. When I play them, I want to beat the hell out of them, and that's kind of what you got to do. But Mike's been great, and we love having him. Like I said, it's his birthday today, and I don't know if you can hear it or see it, but the guys love Mike. We've been lucky to get him there.
Can I ask you to put your analyst hat on for your favorite sport for a minute? Tell me what the key is to Saturday in your mind.
Well, for me, it's one more point than my opponent. That's all I care about. I don't really care any other way. But, I think turnovers, as my buddy Mariucci says, it just determines the game in football. Turnovers. How's the weather supposed to be decent, right?
Yeah.
So,
Kind of.
kind of.
Supposed to rain in the morning, but
That's no big deal. As long as it doesn't rain in the afternoon. But I think turnovers will be a big key, and in rivalry games is can you stay focused on your job and not stay focused on the rivalry. Last time they were here, they roughed up our sport in the head. That has nothing to do with this Saturday. And we've got to stay focused on it. For a guy that went through his first couple of years and let hatred, despise, kind of get in the way of winning. I've learned a lot of good lessons that I try to pass on to my players, and I did say that to Mel, a couple days ago. And being fired up is one thing, being out of control is another. And sometimes in rivalry games it gets that way. So I think the team who first of all, doesn't turn the ball over enough. Second of all, generates all of its energy through blocking and tackling instead of woofing and all the other things that happen in those great rivalry games. But I'll be woofing from the stands, I promise you that. I will be as fired up as anybody, and really proud of the job Mel has done and how we've done it. And let's face it, Michigan has played well too, and yet this is that time of year when I'm sure they want to pay back from last year. We want to move forward for this year. There's a lot to play for. I'm just excited for our football program and for Mel, because it's been fun to be around. But I'm excited for Alan Heller. I'm excited for our Michigan State students who have done an incredible job over there too. And I'm excited for our 600,000 alums, including some of you, because this is what you want to do. You know, you want to go around the water cooler and talk that bad word with other people, and from the other school, guff from the other school. Stayed under my 4 letters, I like it. And that's kind of what you want to do. And as I said in basketball, going through the first 5 games and not even being in the game, that wasn't a rivalry. And believe it or not, for the next quite a few games, it wasn't the other way. And a rivalry's not a rivalry unless both teams are good. When both teams are good, a rivalry takes on a whole new meaning. This week is a whole new meaning.
Tom, real quick, so much. He's talking a lot too about keeping the focus and the outside noise and all the nonsense out, kind of like you're talking. Focus on what you're doing. When a coach has to deal with something he's not creating, job rumors and all that, and something, is that hard for a team? Because they hear all this stuff. Or is that
they definitely hear it all. You know, I'm not really worried about it. I've talked to Mel. I mean, I think this day and age is just part of the deal. You know, we go through, and but is it hard? I mean, it's hard. I mean, but there's always going to be a rumor. Are you taking a new job? Are you getting fired? You know, and very seldom is it, oh man, that coach did a hell of a job and he's going to be here for a while. You know, is he getting fired because he didn't do a good enough job? Is he leaving because he did too good a job? And, you know, every indication that Mel's given me, I mean, we are fundraising, we are working, we're going to have an incredible football facility. We are stepping up right now, and you know it's been fun. It's been all of us. Everybody together is working together to get a place, and I don't think there's any question about it. You know, he wants a place like this place, and then he wants the consistency. And you know, having a winning team, as I said, is okay. Having a winning program is something legacies are made of.
It's something you found too. It's the price of success. You kind of, you get it as good as you know.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. You guys knew about a few jobs. There were a lot more jobs that thank God were kept quiet because I don't have an agent. I don't have people, and there was no Twitter for half of my life. So it's the good old days. But I'm sure he's handled it with his team well. And who knows on those things, you know, it's not like jobs have been offered or what. Rumors means that there's some, no insult intended, but some idiot coming back from the bar late at night that just, some that want to start something, some that want to dream, maybe somebody LSU likes Mel, and some that just want to cause controversy and problems, you know, so, no, I think even players are more ready to handle that stuff now. Concern? It's always a concern, but I don't see that being. Let me tell you something. When that leather shoe hits that leather ball, there ain't gonna be nothing else thought about but winning the game. I promise you that on Saturday.
Tom, tomorrow, besides obviously winning the game, what are sort of some secondary or sub goals that you have that you want to see from these guys in their real game
Turnovers.
setting?
You know, even though we're going to be playing a lot of people not turning the ball over, will be one because that was a problem last year. As our defense improves some, that'll be. As our rebounding improving some, that'll be. Is our running game improving? I'll tell you that. It sounds like there's a lot of things I didn't like about last year, and you're right. I didn't like any of them. So those are things I'm looking for. And how guys are coached. How guys can be coached, you know, who comes off sullen, who comes off. As I told them, whatever you think of every one of our guys, because of the fact that you didn't get to spend any time with them last year, it's it's something that never happens. It's a second chance to make a first impression, and that's what I'm preaching. Let's see if they're listening to the sermon.